Pacific Rim Uprising is the sequel to the 2013 film Pacific Rim. It takes place 10 years after that film. John Boyega plays Jake Pentecost, the son of Idris Elba's character from the first film, and he joins the Jaeger program because the Kaiju are going to come back and we have to fight them again in our giant Jaegers. I rewatched the first Pacific Rim last night and I wasn't really that enamored with it. I thought it had some cool action but kind of meh characters. But I went to go check out Pacific Rim Uprising today because it's the new release, so why not? And walking out of it, I had pretty much the same reaction as I did to the first one. Cool action, meh characters. If you're going to see this film, you want to see one thing and one thing only: giant robot Jaegers fighting giant alien monsters. And when that happens in this film, it is really cool. The last third of this film is all sorts of destruction, annihilation. If you were pissed off at all the destruction in Man of Steel, you are going to despise the last third of this film because Tokyo is like 100 times worse off than Metropolis was at the end of Man of Steel. Take a shot every time a skyscraper gets annihilated, you will be trashed. But it's entertaining, it's fun popcorn action, and it's what you came to see Pacific Rim for. But that's the thing, you come to see the Jaegers fight the Kaiju and you get that in the third act of the film, the last like 20-25 minutes. In the first two acts you get two fight scenes with one Jaeger fighting a rogue Jaeger, and those are cool as well. But you also get a lot of attempts at characterization, and the characterization in Pacific Rim Uprising is the kind of stuff you've seen a billion times before in 100 other films. John Boyega's character, he's the son of Idris Elba's character from the first film, so he has that legacy to live up to, but instead he squandered it all and became a petty thief and didn't live up to his full potential. He could have been the best Jaeger pilot of them all. How many times have you seen that storyline played out? Yeah, a billion. And then there's this girl in the film who's a cadet at the Jaeger program. She's trained to become a Jaeger pilot, and while she's doing her training there's another cadet who doesn't like her and has it out for her, and they have some tension there. How many times have you seen that in a film where somebody is training to do something and then there's another cadet or another trainee who doesn't like them? Exactly. A billion. Those are really the only two main attempts at characterization with those two characters. The rest of them are not developed at all, like Scott Eastwood is just there in the background being Mr. Generic Commando. The two scientists from the first film weren't as cartoony as they were in the first film. I mean, they were still a little bit annoying, especially when Charlie Day has to shout 80% of his dialogue, but they weren't too bad. They did scale them back a little bit, but they were still kind of annoying sometimes. The attempts at humor in this film did not work, like, at all. I found myself chuckling, like, barely. And there's this villainous element to the film, which I'm not going to spoil because it's kind of a revelation towards the third act that this is the villainous element, this is why this is all happening. And I was just like, why? Why do we have to do this? This particular villainous element just felt so forced and just so unnecessary, and I just don't know why they had to do that. And you cannot do a review for this film without talking about the ending, because it sets up for a third film, and I kid you not, they set up the next film the exact same way as Independence Day Resurgence set up its next film. It's literally the exact same thing. Like, the dialogue that's being said, it's not the exact same written dialogue, but it's the same meaning behind the dialogue. I was just sitting there like, oh my god. They watched Independence Day 2 and they're like, yeah, we're going to do that for Pacific Rim. Everybody's going to be behind it, right? Overall, Pacific Rim Uprising had its entertaining action scenes. The last third of this film is actually really cool, got some good action in there, and I also like how this film had a lot more colour and vibrantness to it. The first one, it was all dark and raining all the time. It was really grim and depressing. This film actually had colour to it, so that was cool to see. Even though I was just ribbing on John Boyega's character being cliche with his character arc, I liked him better as a lead than Charlie Hunnam. Charlie Hunnam just irritated me with his genericness. And I thought the CGI in this film was better than the first one. In the first one, when they were showing the Jaegers, I was like, yeah, that's a video game cutscene. I don't believe that at all. But just like the first one, this film is bogged down by its cliche characterization and generic story arcs. I'm gonna go straight down the middle and give Pacific Rim Uprising a 2.5 out of 5. So have you seen Pacific Rim Uprising? What did you think about it? How did you think it compared to the first one? And what's your favourite monster movie of all time? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. And if you want to see more of my stuff, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video.